Hey everybody, do you remember a little while ago I was working on Reeno's CBR500R forks and we found that they were full of water and God knows what? Well, finally I have the lowers back from powder coat. I've got all the parts. I've cleaned these up. There was a couple of dots of rust. I don't think it's in the working area because it was like right up here. But I've sanded those with like 2000 grit, some oil. Now make sure you don't go downwards, you want to go across. But this isn't a how-to, I'm just making this for completion because I showed taking them apart, and I know for the satisfying side of things you want to see me put them back together. So yeah, we have the lowers back from powder coat. There was a little bit of an issue with one of them. Yeah, it's to do with what was going on underneath before. It's not gone down completely smoothly. It shouldn't be any weaker really, but it doesn't matter, it's hidden anyway, and they let me know before they sent them. I just want to let you know it's not perfect, but it's not bad. Okay, so we've got the tube, damper spring, damper tube, the old guides, the backup ring, the cap, the bolt, a cup from the bottom, everything is there. Get rid of that one, nice new one. 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 Okay, ignore the continuity error. I had to go and get an adapter to be able to put one of the forks together, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to put the first one together off camera, because every time I do something with forks on camera, something crops up. Everything went fine with the first one, so I can quickly get through this one. So we have our powder coated lower, our new dust seal, oil seal, crush washer, cleaned up bolt, new guides, springs the same because there was nothing wrong with that. The backup ring's the same because there's nothing wrong with that. The cup at the bottom and the damper rod and all of those bits are the same from before. It's just these that have been replaced. I've just noticed there's some powder coat down on the seat of the where the seal wants to go. That's not great. But hopefully it's light enough it's going to come off. Okay, I've managed to clean the seat and the inside of there up to the point that although I can still see a tiny bit of powder coat like overspray, I can't feel it, so it shouldn't cause any problems. This process for putting this conventional set of forks together is, in my experience so far, is pretty ubiquitous. That means it's like the same setup in most conventional forks, unless they've got extra cartridges and stuff like that. This sort of standard stuff, all basically the same. Okay, so first thing we need to do is take our spring, put it over the damper rod, pop that down inside here, put your finger in there and let it slide down slowly, and then catch it with your finger and guide it out. You don't want it slamming down because you have guides inside here you could damage. So that belongs there. This cap belongs on here, like that. That washer belongs on that nut there. So then what we need to do is put a little baggie on the end of here to help protect the seals going on and build up what needs to be on here. So first things first, that needs to go over the top of there, and that one clips in there. They belong like that. Then we need the stack in the right order, which is the backup ring with the rounded side down, which will be like that. Then the clip goes in the middle, but we don't put it on yet, obviously. And then the dust seal. So I've got some of the oil I'm going to be using here, and I'm going to rub that all over the inside and outside of the new oil seal. Helps lubricate it, helps protect it. Also going to smear oil on the bag and down the stanchion. Then spring side towards the medium you're trying to contain. Let me just run that down. That'll be fine. Then the dust seal, like so. Put the dust seal up here. Oh, no. Don't want to lose the end of the damper. So we've got this guide in its groove here, and you can't get that wrong because it's the same width. Then this one always sits above it there, and then you have the backup ring. Then the oil seal, as I say, spring side towards the medium trying to contain. Dust seal sits above, we won't need that just yet. We now need to attach these two pieces together. And the way you do that is you carefully slot everything in until it bottoms out. It will pinch eventually. You might have to get a few little tweaks to get it to catch, and there we go, it's caught. So I've got that nipped up. What I'm now going to do is just put this in the vise, holding on to the caliper mounts. So I'm scrabbling for words here. Make sure you use soft jaws or something to protect the powder coat or paint or whatever is on yours, because you could damage it by things. You don't need to crush it, you just need to get it to hold in place. It's just going to be off camera, but yeah, I'm just going to basically put this in here and go till it clicks. Okay, so now this is actually all bolted together, we can seat the oil seal. But this is where experience is coming in. First things first, as I say, you want to make sure you've got plenty of oil on the seal itself. Actually, I don't want that dust seal on there yet. Oh, that's annoying. I need to actually put the old seal on top because I'm going to use that as the driver for the new seal. So, oiling that up. This is my one tip that has revolutionised doing fork seals for me. Because every time I don't do this, it's a pain in the arse. And as soon as you do it, it's easy. Heat gun. Don't melt your nice new powder coat, but do warm up the fork. This is aluminium, and just a few degrees extra just gives it a little bit more size, and you can drive that seal in just so much easier. Don't get it super close. Just turn it, waft it, and let it warm up basically. Take our seal driver, and you need to be quick about this because this is warm and you want it to stay warm while you're doing this. 2 hits and it's down. Almost. Oh, that sounded better. If you listen, this has now got a definite thunk to it. Come on, there we go. Okay, we'll take the old seal off. Because I'm sure that's all the way down now. We just need our new retainer clip. As always, you want the retainer clip to go into the groove happily. It doesn't have to be forced, it wants to click in. So get the back side of it down and the front edges. I'll then push the back down, which has already gone into its clip, and then you want to hear noises like this. That is properly where it should be. So dust seal back on, there we go. So then we need to drive the dust seal down on top of that, and you can use the old dust seal like that, and this shouldn't take much. So you see there's a gap there. Done. 1 rebuilt fork, 2 rebuilt forks. Now what we've got to do is fill these with oil. As I say, I've got the service manual, so it will give me the measurement of oil that I need to put into each one of them, which I will do. I will then give them a little bit of a pump to make sure that all the air bubbles are out, and then, after they've sat for a minute, I need to measure the distance down to the oil. I just need to pour in this oil. We've got our measurement. How close are we? So as I say, once you've done that, you fill them with the correct amount and then you measure the air gap. You then find that the air gap is too big, so you try again with a different size measuring jug on the other set of forks and find that the air gap is perfect. And that's when you realise that your other measuring jug is an inaccurate piece of garbage. Filled it with the right amount of oil, you check, and your air gap the distance should take you just to the top of the oil, which that does, and it's the same on both. So after you've done your oil and blah 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 blah, spring goes in with the tight coils at the bottom. Put the spacer in there. Go. Put a little dot of oil around the O-ring on the top cap. You could replace the O-rings every time, or if they're old, these are absolutely fine. There is no need to. Right, this is a little technique that I've learnt from doing this, because obviously this is spring-loaded and you need to get a couple of thread turns for it to catch. Pre-twist your arm, push down, and then bring it around, and it should catch enough. But you don't want to cross-thread it, so I'm just going to try that one again. There we go. Both forks are now done. Obviously, put them on the floor, give them a bit of a squidge, and then all you've got to do is fit them back on the bike. The only one thing I'll point out, if you're going to be doing this job on the CBR500, I've only seen this on the CBR, but I'm going to point it out to you because it's important. At the top of the forks, there's this little thin ring, and that sits in this groove here, like this, okay? The idea of this is it stops the forks from falling back through the yokes. So when you want to take these forks off, you need to loosen them, make this go up a little bit, and then get that clip out. And remember to replace it. So yeah, that's how to do conventional forks. I've done another video on this recently on my XJ6, but as I took them apart on video, I thought, well, for completion, I'll put them together on video. Reeno will be back up and running very soon. Okay, and as if by magic, the bike is all back together. That was nice and easy. Not. There's a couple of things I realised I forgot to mention, so I'm just going to do that now. So you saw me do up the top cap on the fork. Now, when you follow a procedure that's in the Honda manual, service manual for this bike, you only nip that up to start with. Then you put the fork back in, you torque up the lower yoke, then you do the top cap, then you do the upper yoke, and then you put the clip-on on. You have to do it that order. Don't do the top one up and then try and do the cap, because the clamping force of the top yoke will actually put some force onto the top cap holding on. Not a lot, but a bit. So when you loosen top caps, you should also loosen the yoke beforehand. The other thing about the CBR, which is incredibly annoying, is trying to get a torque wrench. Oh, thank you, camera, for turning a light on. That was very clever of you. Because they put these false panels on the inside here, there is virtually no room to get a torque wrench onto the lower yoke. So what we ended up having to do was turn it full lock to the so if you want to do the left side, you turn it all the way to the right, and we undid a few fairing bolts and basically lifted the fairings out just in it about half an inch, just flexed them a bit, and then we could get down to that lower yoke and do it up. But that was a major nightmare. If you're going to do this and you don't mind taking the fairings off, take the fairings off. It's much easier if you do in the long run, but I didn't really fancy it, and if you look at how complicated these fairings are to come off, it's not the worst, definitely not the best. I did take it for a quick spin and it feels amazing. It feels like a new bike. Honestly, obviously water in your forks is not going to help, but it's not actually fully up and running yet, because when I put the caliper bolts in, they just felt a bit cheesy and a bit nasty, so I've ordered 2 new ones and I'm going to replace those. But otherwise, the CBR is all done. Yay! If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and if you want to help support this channel, please consider doing that through Patreon. I would appreciate it. I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.